Welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is the Battle of the Suburbs. This is a 2024 Lincoln Navigator Reserve, equivalent to a black label in terms of features, and this clocks in at over $130,000 Canadian, making this the historical competitor to the Cadillac Escalade.
But the Cadillac now clocks in at $155K, making this Yukon Denali Ultimate its new competitor.
And can it compete? Because the Navigator is pretty damn good. By the way, if you're looking for the Escalade, we just compared it to a GLS, so you might want to check that out after the video. It's somewhere or at the end. Well, anyhow, okay, Navigator looks. What do you think?
I think it looks nice. It's starting to look a little bit dated. It
Yeah.
has more of a mature look. I'll say that.
Yes, it's a little more urbanized,
Yeah.
I'm fancy. I like the looks. It's all aviation themed a little bit. This one's colored in flight blue.
Which is nice.
And like you said, it's showing its age a little bit. So is the Denali, which is about to get a small refresh actually next year. But
It's more aggressive.
I love how that thing looks.
It's not as aggressive as the Escalade. That thing's super sexy.
Yeah.
But this is still pretty aggressive looking.
Especially with the monochrome badge.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I think this is very sexy. So my heart here for the exterior is with the Denali.
I agree.
So how about we hop in and see where our hearts are there?
Let's go.
All right, now I'm in the Navigator.
And I'm in the Denali Ultimate.
And let's compare, starting off with the Navigator materials, and this is a richly appointed cabin. This is genuinely extremely nice. First of all, we got this interesting color. It's like an off-white.
It's a 10.
Tan, yeah, off-white tan kind of color, which looks nice. I don't love the gray accents. I think gray is a little weird, but whatever. The woods are amazing and plentiful. Like everything you touch is extremely soft or wood, and it just looks really, really beautiful, and that's what I expect from a luxury SUV.
Stepping into the Yukon, again, this is a vehicle that looks nice in its own right when viewed independently from other vehicles, specifically this one. Everything is nice in here, right? You got all of these touch points are really nice soft leather. There are a little bit more plastics than you're gonna find in the Navigator. You got a nice open pore wood trim here that continues onto the center console. Everything's pretty nice, but going from that to this, you notice kind of a step down.
Yeah. Speaking of stepping down, Lincoln stepped down to using quite a bit of piano black in here, which I am not overly fond of because it's gonna look all dirty and scratchy in a few thousand kilometers. Right now it's still okay, but don't love it. Anyhow, while we're here, center consoles, we of course both have wireless chargers. We have plenty of cup holders. Mine opens up and reveals a big center console. Yours is a little trickier.
So I got USB-C, USB-A, I got a wireless charger here, 2 cup holders, and when you open this up, you got a decent center console, but it might be underwhelming to some of you, and that's for good reason, because if you press this button right here, you get this kind of hidden storage, which is pretty awesome. Now you could leave it like this, and you could leave stuff in here, or if you want to be tactical and cryptic, you can have a little storage compartment here.
It's pretty neat.
Which is great for, you know, perfectly legal items that you don't want anyone knowing about.
Only
you
legal
put it in
items.
there, and you close it back up, and no one knows that it's there.
We have no knowledge of how well Border Patrol knows about those. Or the RCMP. And while we're talking about this, I just want to mention on both of these, we have like a lot of like knobs and switches. On both of these, but especially on the Navigator, I'm not 100% happy with the quality of them. There's a little bit too much wiggle room once you move them. It doesn't feel quite as upscale.
It's the same experience over here.
Let's talk about seats. You start because I'm going to beat your ass there.
I have seats. No, I'm kidding. These seats, honestly, like you touch these seats, the leather is really, really nice, soft, quality feeling leather. You got some unique stitching in here, some white piping. They're nice seats. They're pretty comfortable. They're not overly adjustable, but they work. You got heated, ventilated seats. We do have massaging seats, but they're not quite as powerful as yours, are they?
My massage on these seats, those are also ventilated and heated, are amazing. These are the optional, I think 32 or 36 way adjustable seats. They are by far the best, my favorite seats in the industry. I don't think any car, even an S-Class, has seats as good as these. But like the cushions that individually adjust at the seat bottom, they're so incredibly comfortable once you've set them up, which takes like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But they're incredibly comfortable, and I just love sitting on this. This headrest is cushiony. Even that one comes out and forward and up, like whatever you want. It is so incredibly comfortable, and just a big step above what the Yukon
What
offers.
anyone offers, to be fair.
Yeah, actually, no one can beat. Yeah, you're right. No one can compete. Talk about some tech though. Like you said, we both have issues with both vehicles. Starting with the gauge cluster, which I think is the most straightforward thing. This is very close. This is pretty much the F-150 screen, just reskinned. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It works. It worked well, and I think the same is true for yours.
Yeah, it works. It's semi-customizable. No frills. It's a nice usable gauge cluster.
I agree. Head-up displays we both have, big ones.
Yeah, very
at
big.
that. Infotainment though. So this is Ford Sync 4, and it like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay is wireless on both.
Yep.
But both of these can, on occasion, be quite slow. Both of these, I don't love the screens. This one is, I don't love the position. Yours,
I don't love the position of this either. I feel like a lot of times things are far out of reach, and there's no other option but to touch them.
yeah, on both of these. Like even for me, if I want to have the split screen thing, I got to touch it all the way. And we're in a big truck. Like it takes a while to get over there, and it's to reach. The problem is we were in the XT4 last week, and the new one, which had like one of the best infotainment systems
Yeah, it's
there
pretty
is with
amazing.
this 33-inch or whatever OLED screen. So comparing it to those is just hard. And yeah, it's I don't. It's workable, but it's not as nice as it could be.
To be honest, in the Navigator, I find the infotainment to be one of the cheaper feeling components if you actually touch it. And I found that it was creaking a little bit over bumps. It's not the
Okay.
most solid feeling
Yeah.
part of that interior.
Yeah, a little brace in the back wouldn't hurt, and you don't even see that anyway. So they could have just
Yep.
adjusted that. Also, my heated steering wheel is in the infotainment. Like, why is it not any? We have so many buttons, but my heated steering wheel is in the infotainment. A big sunroofs in both of them.
Yeah.
But okay, just quickly, first row, who wins? Easy Navigator.
Easy win. Like
second row, even easier win for me.
what I have that you don't, loser, is HDMI compatible screens, so you can hook up an Xbox or a PS5, which is
That's
freaking
pretty cool.
awesome.
That's
But
pretty
that's where my advantages wither away.
Yeah, so we have the optional $1,700 center console with massaging seats. Yes, you heard that right. We have second row massaging seats, including cushion massage, just like up in front. It is extremely comfortable, heated and ventilated in the back. You have a little screen in the back there, so you can control the audio. You can control pretty much everything you can do through the infotainment. You can do through that screen. Obviously, you can lock it up front if you don't want your kids to meddle with you. Big center console, plenty of storage.
Like you got 4 cup holders back there. You got storage in the center console there. You got storage under the center console. You got
Like, there's so much storage.
there's so much.
Like, you can live with this, literally. Both of them recline. You do, however, get armrests because you don't have a center console. I mean, I guess my armrests are integrated into the center
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
But that's pretty nice. Third row room, though, I'll admit, I think you slightly edge out the Navigator.
Yeah, I do think I edged out the Navigator a little bit.
Especially because you don't have that headroom, middle seatbelt thingy
Yeah.
where you can pop your head.
But it's easier to get into the third row on the Navigator with the seats folding down like they do.
True, because it can slide forward. Yours, I'd like to go through the middle, though. I think that's pretty easy. You just got to walk through. And then,
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that you can walk through your car. That's just, my hallway in my SUV. That's pretty good. Lastly, trunk, these both are huge. Denali takes it by a little bit, 5 cubic feet more with the third row up, 25 to 20. And then it's a bigger difference of 57 cubic feet in Navi to the 72 cubic feet in the Denali with the second row up and the third row down. If you make it in full on haul mode, you get 122 cubic feet. I get about 105. So yeah, if you need to haul more, the Denali Ultimate has you beat slightly in the Navigator. But speaking of beating and hauling, how about we haul some ass out on the road?
Let's go. All right. Out in the Yukon Denali Ultimate, we're in 4 high. We got sport mode on.
Let's see.
We're gonna do a little brake torque. And I'm in park. All right.
That's good. Let's try that again.
Let's brake torque this baby and see. Oh, there's no posturing. Oh, that was. Okay.
There we go. Oh, there we go.
That. Yeah. Not.
Once it gets going, it gets going.
Not too bad. I find that it's better from a rolling start.
Yeah, the 6.2 doesn't brake torque real good. Like we noticed that also in the Escalade. Speaking of, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 producing 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque sent to all 4 wheels through a 10-speed automatic. We have driven this drivetrain about 5 billion times. We love this drivetrain. Well, personally, I love this drivetrain.
Works.
Exactly. Every single time it just works. It's reliable. It's pretty smooth. It's very smooth, actually. And you do have the power. There you go. That felt much better.
Let's go to 2 high.
Yeah, for
See.
fuel economy, because gas is almost at record prices again. So,
Yay!
and do you want to take it maybe out of sport mode, just
Yeah, just so the
just remember to like and subscribe, watch every ad, guys, because that means we can lose a little less money.
there we go, normal mode. There we go.
I like this structure.
It has power.
It has power. It's smooth. It's great, and fuel economy isn't like too bad.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, it's 6.2 liter V8 and 6,000 pound SUV. So for that, it is not terrible. I got my massage going though.
It's not bad, but you know, let's say you got your Google. I can't really show it. But let's say you got your
It's going to my Google, in my
yeah.
Android
Let's
Auto.
say you got your Android Auto going. You want to change your heated seats, or sorry, your massage sheets. There you go. It takes up the whole screen for some reason. It takes a while to get out of this screen. Waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, I just missed my turn.
And you don't want to necessarily take your hands on the wheel.
And then it doesn't go back to your maps. You got to actually go back to your maps.
Yeah, so your phone projection gets kicked out. Essentially, then you have to go back in. A little bit annoying. And I've noticed that sometimes if you use your little D-pad or whatever you call it first instead of doing the rotation, it can get stuck.
Right.
And then it's just stuck. But before we switch, I just want to quickly mention, you have a digital rearview mirror, which is really awesome.
And the Navigator doesn't. It should. I mean.
Yeah, this should be standard in every single car. It's so good.
Especially at this price point.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's swap into the Navigator and say we like that one.
Let's go. All right, now out in the Navigator, let's put it into Excite, because we're going to do some exciting driving that's going to automatically put us into 4 auto. Massages are already
Massage is great.
activated. It's so good. I'm going to brake to work and see how quick we go.
Postures.
Wow.
Okay, a lot more
Yeah.
torque.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable. Oh, I love turbos.
It goes pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a lot quicker than the Denali.
That is a lot quicker. Let's go not into conserve, we're not that bad, but into normal. So we have a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 producing 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. They hit pretty well.
And it goes 0 to 60 0.7 seconds faster, which is pretty substantial.
Yeah, so it's like 5.3 seconds, I
Yeah.
think, which is actually, according to CarDrive, which is really fast.
Fast for a car like this, for a truck this big.
Which is not even like meant as a sporty
Yeah.
vehicle or anything. So drivetrain wise, so both have the same transmission. It's a Ford and GM co-developed transmission. I like the transmission in here just like I like it in the
Denali?
Yukon. Yeah, sorry, the Denali. And engine wise, this I do enjoy the torque
But
that this engine gives
I
me.
feel about coming.
I just that's a V8. I just
I
like the
know,
V8,
I know.
and it also tows 1,300 pounds more. That tows 7,500. This tows 6,200. Aspect. To be fair, you can get a towing package for this, which will increase your tow rating. But we always do a handling test with our vehicle, so let's put it right back into Excite. And you notice the handles are much nicer in this.
Yes.
And we'll see how quick this goes around the corner. And pull her in. Actually pretty good.
Well, we didn't flip, so that's a good thing.
We didn't flip, yeah. It's always funny because they always come with the rollover warnings, right? SUVs.
Yeah.
Regular, but you can do pretty much anything except for maybe a Wrangler or a Bronco. You can do a lot with these. But let's get this back. It drives totally fine in terms of like sporty aspirations. You don't really gonna have them. It's easy to drive. The steering is very light. I find this drives a little smaller. And the Yukon just feels a little more nimble. Mainly the steering just being a little more vague, but comfortable. And in terms of ride quality,
It's not bad, but even now, like I'm feeling the jittery of the suspension.
Yeah.
It's a little more jittery than the Denali.
Yeah.
And I noticed it on the highway even.
yeah, especially right now, it's like I think the big bumps get absorbed slightly better than this.
But the small ones go right into your
it's just
seat.
Like, it's like a constant vibration. I found on the highway my brain kind of tunes it out after a while.
But this is a little bit annoying.
But like right now, it's just like it just never fully settles down. Unlike an Escalade, unlike even the Yukon, with the air suspension, it just rides that better. And funnily enough, I found the Expedition. I didn't remember.
really good.
Like the Expedition didn't have this.
No, it did not.
The Expedition didn't ride weird in that regard. Noise-wise, though, both of these are fantastic. Like this is.
As you expect.
I have one complaint I'm going to be able to showcase here. If I'm turning on the indicator, notice what sounds the steering wheel does once I'm going to turn and kind of go beyond that point where it automatically turns off.
clicks?
It clicks very loudly though. It's okay. This is a very luxurious complaint here, but I find it just click, click, and if you do like quick movement in like a
Just click,
parking
click,
lot,
click, click.
it's click, click, click.
Yeah.
You indicating that it's like click, 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 and it just listen. It doesn't bother me much.
Put on music, you won't hear it.
Exactly, and it's a $130,000 car though. Like it's the tiny things we have to
Yes.
mention and we have to talk about. But before we talk about price, I do want to quickly mention one thing: the driving tech. Both of these have semi-autonomous driving, hands-free. GM Super Cruise is in the Yukon, and it's Super Cruise. It works excellently.
Yep.
Works very well. I love the way it is portrayed with our kind of screen up top. This has Blue Cruise, and for the first time ever, it actually worked for me. Like this is like the 6th or 7th
I know,
vehicle,
they've never been functional.
and it's never worked for us. This has finally worked for us. When it works, it's pretty good, but it still deactivates more often than Super Cruise. It still doesn't activate as often. Like as soon as I'm on the enabled highway, Super Cruise shows me that little symbol, but press it, it's gone. This, first of all, it doesn't communicate with you as well, and when it can do it and when it can't do it, and then I found it to just be very inconsistent. So
it's still a half feature.
it's still really a half feature. Like I turned it on the DVP this morning, and after a minute, it was like trying to take back controls. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
well,
Pointless.
thank you for that. So yeah, still a win for the Yukon in terms of tech. But let's sum it all up. We're gonna say the price, and then I think we're gonna do our classic countdown, 3, 2, 1, and we'll both say which one we would pick. The Yukon, what's that priced at? Fully spec'd out, obviously.
The Yukon was priced at $132,500.
The Navigator is just over $130,000. So we're gonna Canadian, obviously. So we're gonna talk. So this is $2,500 less than the Yukon. With that in mind, we each prefer 3, 2, 1, Navigator. Yeah, this was a very easy win actually.
I think we need to say that I think it's insane that either of these vehicles is that much money. Like $130,000. I'm sorry, if I see either one of these driving down the street, I'm not thinking that's $130,000.
Is this bad?
No, it's great, but $130,000. For me, that's crazy.
In a world where a GLS and Escalade are $150,000.
That's also crazy, though.
Okay,
It's like
okay, yeah.
we've gone crazy.
We've all got. I agree with. I'm signing that. I think this is compared to the competition. I think this is actually decently priced. It's still $130,000. It's a crazy amount of money.
I have to say that it's crazy. This is cheaper than the Denali.
Yeah, and that is just like.
That's mind-boggling.
I think we both like the Yukon.
I
It's a
like
good car.
I like
It's
the
good.
exterior of the Yukon better.
I like the exterior better. I like the ride quality better, and I like Super Cruise better, and maybe the 6.2 liter.
And the screens are cool, but
Like the interior and the comfort,
there's no comparison.
it's like you step up from a premium vehicle to an actual full-on luxury product
For less money.
for less money, and that's why I just like. Sorry, I like the Yukon. I love the image of the Yukon, but the Navigator just got it beat. Maybe
And the powertrain too.
it's
Whether you want a V8 or not, this is a more powerful powertrain.
Yes.
If you're towing, maybe
True.
it's a deal breaker.
maybe the point I can see if you live out in the country and you're maybe a business person, maybe a Navigator is too bougie. Maybe it's like
brand perception.
like a
could be thing.
GMC is a bit more. I think a GMC is pretty much as versatile as it gets. You can rock a GMC in the city, and the people are gonna be like, okay, that's cool. And you can rock a GMC out in the country, and so we could.
Working class.
Yeah, this might be a little too bougie, but what just drove past us was a Tahoe, and I don't see $15,000 difference between the Tahoe and the Yukon. It is a little better. It's not that much better. This is just a way better car for the price.
It's not comparable when you look at the interior.
And even I think this can even almost give the Escalade a run for money for $20,000 less.
Yeah,
That's where like some of the shortcomings might actually be worth it for the price.
I mean, for the exterior wise, no comparison. Like the Escalade is just something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, interior, this is lush.
I just love these seats, man. Like these, it's
Or
like
I
it
should
feels
say
like
plush.
it's a mold. I'm like these seats have been molded for me. That's what it feels like. It's just,
Well, there's so many adjustments. You literally do mold it for you.
Yeah,
it's like an orthotic for your back.
right. It's so good. So yeah, I get we like the Yukon, but not for 130.
No,
Not for 130. That's where the Navigator's just a way better truck.
No, the Yukon's 132.
So yeah, good job, Lincoln. Great freaking truck. Thank you for watching this video on JC Cars. Pure testosterone.
Oh.
What the? fuck is this piece of shit?
If you guys like the video, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Should I just drive into a tree now, or?
And we'll see you next Friday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern for a whole lot more fun. Bye-bye.